So the museum's bread and butter is culture and heritage, obviously, but we're beginning to see now that we can become an environmental resource as well, so that people can come to the museum and they experience the culture and heritage, but then also go for a walk, they can improve their mental health, their well-being, staff, visitors alike. So obviously the culture and heritage is very important, but also as well as part of that we've developed the environmental aspect of it as well, which fits in with our environmental sustainability action plan and policy, which dates back to 2022. And the museum now is becoming much more environmentally focused. So we have that commitment to net zero by 2030 and 2050, but also as well the buildings that are going to be constructed as part of the reawakening.
I have to say we are extraordinarily lucky in having a site like this. This Ulster Folk Museum it's the kind of focal point. It was the initial kind of pilot for all this work, and it's the area that we're using to kind of then test so that we can then roll that out to our other sites. I mean, we're a steering group member of the Pollinator Plan, but we've also signed up as a supporter of the Pollinator Plan. It's a good sort of starter point as well because it's relatively non-committal. I mean, you can test this by just reducing your mowing. You know, that's literally all you're doing. You're not having to get any big machinery in there. You're not having to get, you're not having to make a real serious funding commitment. You know, it can be done as front-facing or as behind the visitor experience as you like, and you can trial it and see how it goes. And if you decide, you know, it's not for that site and you want to do something different, that's okay. You just go back to the mowing regime you had previously. We had reached out to the Woodland Trust, who were absolutely brilliant and continue to be, and we've now actually created a partnership with them. So we'll be doing a lot more work along these lines in future, and we'll, you know, have them on site with us. You know, managing the site continually. We worked with them in partnership to create the Woodland Restoration Management Plan, and that's been absolutely brilliant, you know, because they really are specialists in that area. So it was brilliant to have them to be on site, and from their previous knowledge of the site, to the previous surveys they've done, to then, you know, put this with all the kind of, you know, the stuff that's happened in the last number of years, to be able to survey again and track that change, and then come up with a brilliant plan. Getting those experts in to survey your site, see what species and what habitats you have, and then, you know, look at the priorities for saving it.
We need to sort of, you know, we can help others, help other museums, and, you know, I'm quite happy to talk to other museums and to other sectors as well, and share some of our experiences, because there's so many shared experiences. People have tried things, they haven't worked, they've tried things, they have worked, and it's by learning and by sharing that we can get a better outcome at the end of the day.
It's involved a lot of, you know, communication and learning and engagement, both inside the museum and outside, but it has really proven you know, just how effective that is, that it really can work. And for this kind of stuff, it's such a large scale, it's such an intrinsic, you know, throughout every kind of facet of the museum sort of change we're making. It really is a sort of a culture change in the museum. But I mean, it has even astonished me how quickly that's happened, you know, like through particularly the Environmental Sustainability Working Group. We made sure that every department in the museum was represented in it, and so that we could get everybody's perspective on it, and we could also then, those of us representatives within that could then go and disperse this kind of information to our own departments and keep everybody in the loop. It was a kind of a quick way to get the ball rolling on that front. You have to get all those sides, you know, on board and working together. And once you do that, then it really does add up to more than the sum of its parts. And that is the great thing about the museum being a great mixing pot. You know, no idea is you know, daft, or, you know, they're too out there or too different. You know, I don't like the notion of thinking in the box. So, you know, there's a problem and there is at least one, if not several, solutions. So, you know, if we can find, you know, any solution, and particularly one that's maybe more geared towards museum specific, you know, kind of sector, then it really doesn't matter where it comes from. And it's great to have that buy-in and those voices from all those different angles, you know, because the whole, you know, the whole point of this as well is that we're taking ownership of what we have. And what we need to care for and be responsible for. So everybody has to feel that sense of ownership. Everybody has to feel, you know, a level of understanding and connection to it to then be able to care for it correctly.